The following podcast is brought to you by the Geeks 2 Network, and all opinions are those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. It's time to talk wrestling. This is the Dave Dynasty Show.
And welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show. I'm your host, Dave Dynasty, sometimes known as Delicious Dave, sometimes known as Downtown Dave.
Delicious Dave.
There was a period of my career I was known as Delicious Dave Dynasty.
You guys can't see this, but I am physically repulsed and
I
shaking
came
my
to the
head.
ring under the harmonious tune of Sexy Mother by Prince.
Oh my. Oh my.
Those were good days.
If you say so. Did you wrestle Jesus?
If I did, I pinned his ass to the mat. Probably not. But
What was your finishing move?
what was my finishing move?
Yeah.
I can't remember we called it the Delicious Drop, the famouser.
Yep, the
like
famous.
like Billy Gunn. That the other sound that sounds curiously like fecal matter is my producer, Ike Isaacs.
Hey, what's up, guys?
That's your new nickname, fecal matter.
Fecal matter. Sounds awful like fecal matter. Nah, I'm just over here talking shit about you, so it's all good.
Sure. See, you can't get away from it.
Nope, I can't because sometimes you got to do it. Shit happens.
You spew like an ass.
Verbal diarrhea. It happens.
It sure does. just like for some reason they think they should call me Delicious Dave.
Delicious Dave and Shitstone Isaac.
It is what it is. This is the Dave Dynasty Show. Wow, we're off to a rousing start. We don't even
Rousing.
We just jump right into it this time.
Balls to the walls.
You put your balls wherever you want, man. I don't want to put them against walls, though. But anyway, thanks for joining us in whatever capacity you are, whether it be through iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube. Hey, in whichever way you do, please subscribe, follow, like, rate, review, share. Help us spread the word and let people know.
Yeah.
The more we grow, the more you get to hear. And the bigger guests we have. Because today on the Dave Dynasty Show, Ike, we have the reigning and current National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion, Tim Storm.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I had to look him up.
Well, perhaps, but he's the NWA World Champion.
True. This is true.
A belt held by Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Harley Race, Ricky Steamboat. Lots of great guys. We're going to talk to Tim about being NWA World Champion, what that means, and where it's going. All that good stuff. We also have another Warner's Wisdom from the self-proclaimed smartest man in professional wrestling, Mance Warner.
Illiteracy, lariats, and light beers.
Why do you try to hide the fact that he's your favorite wrestler?
He's not my favorite wrestler. In fact, I would go as far to say he's my least favorite wrestler.
Least favorite?
Okay, let me take that back. That would probably be the Hulk Hogan or Roman Reigns. He's notched like a fifth.
Both of whom we're going to talk about today.
Oh, really?
This is your episode. We have a Warner's Wisdom,
oh, God.
and we're going to discuss Hulk Hogan and Roman Reigns.
No, this is not going to be fun.
It is going to be a blast.
All right, so we should start with the wrestling headlines.
Let's go right for it.
Okay, first wrestling headline. Joey Styles fired from Evolve for Trump-inspired joke. Not first time I've ever heard of this. So
it just literally happened.
Okay.
Like
throw it at
last
me.
night, I think. I believe it was last night, yeah.
Dang.
And it was just announced today. What happened was Joey Styles, who's obviously worked for WWE, but is most known for being the commentator for ECW in its prime.
Yeah.
Has been working with Evolve Wrestling. And last night told, I'm not sure what her name is. I don't know. And I think it was his broadcast partner or someone a female, that she looked very good. Was, just complimenting her. And said that she looked so good that if he were there, our president-elect would grab her by and he didn't finish the sentence. But he said it was the same thing that Stokely Hathaway is, which is he's been feuding with an Evolve. It was a barb at him, too. Evolve did not take lightly to that and thought the joke was in very bad taste, as did everybody. And Joey was immediately fired. Immediately let go.
Dang.
Joey's got to accept the fact that ECW is no longer, and he cannot just behave the way he did
Yeah, so
when they were wrestling in New York.
and they're like stapling dollar bills to each other.
Yeah, so, yeah, while it's unfortunate because, it was a neat partnership, it was neat to hear Joey calling matches again. Yeah, Joey, some things you can't say. So, I feel no pity. He had it coming. Very, very poor taste.
Talk about putting your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, well, he needed that foot in his mouth.
Yeah,
to be shoved
for
right
real,
down his
though.
throat.
Good Lord.
So, you know what? I'm not necessarily a fan of Joey Styles anyway. I always thought his announcement it got annoying. After the 15,000th time I heard him say, "Oh my God," it just got to be too much. So I don't care. Good riddance, Joey Styles.
Peace.
I can watch Evolve unmuted now. Actually, I don't think I've watched any Evolve since he's been calling it, but
Now you'll watch Evolve again.
now I'll watch Evolve again. I saw somebody on Twitter that said something very interesting. Speaking of commentating, stuff, that they wished there was an option, particularly on like promotions that do live feed, like iPay-per-views or live feeds on YouTube and such. And I think he was particularly referencing certain Mexican promotions.
Yeah.
And saying he wishes there was an option that you could do the commentating, and there was an alternate feed where all you could hear was the ring and crowd noise with no commentating.
I'd like that.
I thought that would be cool.
I mean,
But-
it would be kind of reminiscent of being like actually at the event,
Yeah,
because you don't hear
I think
the
that's what he was implying. It gives you more of the feel of being there. And let's be honest, commentating, there's really not either middle ground on commentating. Commentating is either really good and it helps, or it's really bad and it hurts.
You're either Jim Ross or you're Joey Styles.
Right, because Jim Ross understands you're a component. You're helping to put the match over and what's in the ring.
Yep.
Joey Styles says, "Look at me."
He tries to be the
Sorry,
the star.
I'm not a Joey Styles fan, as
I
you can tell.
Are you a Jim Ross fan?
I do like Jim Ross, yeah.
Yeah, I like Jim Ross.
I like Jim Ross. So,
Dear God, that man's got
but of course,
a family.
I grew up listening to Jim Ross, but that's okay. But anyway, yeah.
All right.
See you, Joey.
Peace, Joey. All right.
Have fun. What's next?
Next one. Anthem Sports reaches agreement with Billy Cortana regarding
What?
TNA.
Billy who?
It says Cortana. This is what you wrote down for me. Oh, Corgan.
It's Corgan. It auto-corrected
Okay.
to Cortana. Does yours say Cortana? It does say Cortana.
Yeah, it says okay. So my bad.
Wait a
Billy
minute. Why did my Apple phone...
reverts to Cortana, a Microsoft-owned.
Why did it have
What?
that as the autocorrect?
If people don't know, Cortana is a first of all, it's a Halo character. But second of all,
Right. But I'm talking technology-wise, though. I have an
Yeah.
Apple phone.
it's weird.
You know, it autocorrects iTunes with the proper capitalization with the small I and the capital T. I understand that. That's their...
This is a
But
capital
it autocorrects
Cortana.
the Cortana?
Oh man.
I smell conspiracy theory.
Okay, so Billy
Corgan.
regarding TNA. Because I read that and I was like,
so weird.
I read that, I was like, who the hell's Billy
I'm like,
Cortana?
how did you butcher that name? There's no T.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
anyway, Anthem Sports and Billy Corgan reached an agreement on his loan. Apparently, both sides are happy. It's amicable. It's done. It's split.
So Billy Corgan has nothing to do with TNA anymore?
No, he was already gone, but there was a pending lawsuit pertaining to the money he invested and was supposed to get back.
Gotcha.
Apparently, there's an agreement's been reached. It's done. And I am so glad because maybe now TNA can move on. TNA can focus on putting out some product, and we can either say it's good or it's bad based on the product, not because of all this soap opera crap.
Yeah, definitely.
So, good, it's done. I hate the fact Billy Corgan's gone because I think he did good stuff. So, hopefully, though, whoever they bring on board and whoever's still there can continue on. I did hear that the total nonstop deletion episode that was going to be all at the Hardy compound is back on. They're going to do it now. Now they got the money.
That's awesome.
So that will be spectacular. We may do a whole podcast special just devoted to that.
As a broken Matt Hardy's probably the best thing right now in
It
wrestling.
is. So and while this is on my mind, this is totally unrelated to everything. But while it's on my mind, I have to say, I meant to say this in the opening and I forgot. We are recording this on, what is today's date?
The 13th.
Okay, we're recording this on Sunday, November 13th. We put it out on Sunday nights. Most of you get it on Mondays. Anyway, today does mark the anniversary of the passing of Eddie Guerrero.
Oh.
So just want to take a moment to probably my favorite of all time,
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero. So God bless you, Eddie. Certainly miss you. Maybe then we wouldn't have to talk about Hulk Hogan and Roman Reigns if you were
Yeah,
still around,
seriously. I was like, if he was still around, man, he'd still be frog splashing the shit out of people.
All right. But anyway,
Alright.
I know that has totally unrelated, but it just popped in my mind. I wanted to make sure I got that in before I forgot because I'd hate myself if I forgot.
Rest in peace, Eddie. Rest in peace.
All right. What's next?
Third, Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll, right? Okay, you misspelled that one too.
No, that's
Marty
right.
Scurll.
That's how you say it. That's it.
Scurll?
Yeah.
Okay, Marty Scurll.
He's British, man.
British, ma. All right, you sounded more like Jamaican.
You can just call him
Marty.
the villain.
Well, I've seen him wrestle too.
I know.
That's the worst part.
Amazing.
He's good.
He is amazing.
Okay, they signed exclusive to our Ring of Honor.
Yes. And all the world said, woo, woo. I don't know why I did that. But you know what? That's the first time I've ever done that in my life. But that's how happy I am about this. Because I love Ring of Honor. I love Will and Marty. And the fact that we're going to get to see more of them in Ring of Honor is great because now all I can say is Marty, the villain, needs to be the man to face Bobby Fish in a feud for the TV title. That will be great.
They both have pretty wicked mustaches, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're actually they do have kind of a similar look to them.
Battle of the Stashes.
But I'm very happy with this. And the one thing is, you hear the word exclusive, but the good thing about when they do this with Ring of Honor, it does mean like Ospreay can still work New Japan.
Yeah.
And they can still work. They can do things with CMLL. There's partnerships. They still can wrestle with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Yeah, it's
so
a
like
PWG
all
too.
my favorite groups, they can still work for.
Yeah.
So, because while it's exclusive, that just means they cannot work for other companies in America that or whatever stuff. So anyway,
that's not a big deal though. I mean, like you said, they can
Not really,
they
no.
can still work for great promotions and they can still move around
because
a lot.
there's this there's a partnership
Yeah.
where it all goes. But so cool. I'm so glad. These are two of my favorite guys out there, and I'm going to be so happy to see more of them in Ring of Honor. I don't think Ospreay's been in Ring of Honor.
I don't think so.
Marty, I think I know Marty. Well, okay, I take that back. I believe they both made appearances, which this is coming from, because Ring of Honor is doing their shows in England.
Yeah.
The Reach for the Sky thing tour, and that's where this has come from. And why they're announcing it now because they're both
Reach
British.
for the sky.
Yeah, it's weird
Yes.
because that little thing is synonymous with the Briscoes,
Yeah.
who are so American it's not even funny.
Yeah, right.
But yet they named a tour of Britain. I don't know where that came from, but
Who knows?
whatever the fact may be, this is very cool, very awesome. Going to see lots of good stuff out of this. I'm happy.
Yep. And so when I saw
And
Marty,
I'm hoping because Final Battle's coming up in December. I'm hoping that maybe I cannot imagine we won't see him there.
yeah,
I hope
because
That'd be great.
we saw him wrestle with for
AEW.
AEW, right?
Yes.
That was pretty good. That's right. Well,
Yeah,
they
he
were
wrestled-
both there, weren't they?
no,
Not Will Ospreay. Okay.
That was Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, that's right.
Don't
Yeah.
get your Brits confused. They're not all the same.
I know. I shouldn't.
But no. Ospreay he's great. He's most known for his match he had with Ricochet in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. That was phenomenal.
Oh yes.
And a lot of people hate it. But he also has a very wild feud with Vader. Because, Vader, after the Ricochet Ospreay match, Vader bashed it. Called him flippy, called him blah, blah, blah. Insulted the style. Ended up leading to a big verbal Twitter war. Ospreay did some mocking in a match or two. Ended up to a match between the two that drew very, very well. Coming to find out it was all a work. Vader was just taking an opportunity to make some money. Wise man, it worked.
I was gonna say.
Now they're continuing on because Ospreay has claimed in an interview that Vader refused to do the job for him, even though Vader's on the way down, Ospreay's on the way up. He didn't do the right thing. I think it's still a work. I think they're working for a rematch. I don't care. It's fun. Whatever, man. Because the best stuff in wrestling is when you take real life and you just blow it the hell out of proportion and run with it.
Definitely.
It was a smart move by Vader. Made a lot of people a lot of money. Some sellouts in England. It was good stuff.
I mean, it made him money.
Dude's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
WWE's not knocking for a comeback. He's too old. You got to take a payday when you can get it. Hats off to Vader, and hats off to Ospreay for working with him and having fun with it.
Yeah. Right.
I'm not saying knocking Vader in his work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Ospreay had to have been like, oh, this is cool. This will be fun. Let's do this. This is
This is
this
a
is
chance. I mean, it's cool too because now he can say he's wrestled Vader, and I think that's just cool to say. I mean, whether or not he's a good wrestler or not, that's up to whatever. But I mean, he's wrestled people like Mankind and
Vader was an amazing wrestler, but he's older now and he can't do quite the same things. He self-admitted he will say that.
yeah.
But in his prime, one of the best big men of all time.
I mean, that dude.
Especially like you watch his stuff in Japan where they work in that stiff style. He had eyeballs knocked out of his socket. That wasn't in Japan. That was in Germany, I believe. But anyway.
Yeah, so he has eye knocked out.
No.
He
That was in
pushed it
Japan.
back in,
that
dude.
was in Japan. Yeah.
That dude pushed his eye.
Somebody
back
the
in
other day,
socket.
and I'm not sure what it was. I don't know what it was, but they asked him when it came out, could you still see out of it? He's like, I don't know. It really didn't happen. It was hurts. It was quick. I don't know. But Vader, one of the best big men of all time.
He is, definitely.
You got a guy that size that can pull a moonsault. Props. He's one of the best. Bam Bam Bigelow was one of the best. Of
yeah,
course,
I like Bam Bam
No
Bigelow.
coincidence. Those two teamed up in Japan. No coincidence. Really? Yep.
I want to watch that now.
They were tight. It was good stuff. No coincidence because they're very, very similar. Once again, God bless you. Rest in peace, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yes.
One of the best, too. All right, is that all the headlines we got?
That's all the headlines we got.
I don't know how we took those headlines and we wound up somehow talking about Bam Bam Bigelow who had nothing to do with it.
Bam Bam
That's
Bigelow.
the way I roll.
Hey.
That's the way my head.
We have to
rolls.
flow. You just got to have the flow, man.
We're going to take a break, though, because we need to.
We do.
And when we come back, will be my interview with the NWA World Champion, Tim Storm. Stick around.
Visit LuchaMaskUSA.com for official high-quality Lucha masks and merchandise, straight from the luchadors themselves. They have a huge and always growing inventory, so check back often. That's LuchaMaskUSA.com.
And welcome to the Dave Dynasty Show. I am joined today with a special guest, the NWA World Champion. Tim, how are we doing today?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Always good to talk with you. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, usually Dave does this type of thing, so this is actually my first interview, and I am actually really pumped that I get to have it with Tim Storm. I actually am really excited.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Well, hey, man, so let's jump right into this. So, first of all, like I said, congratulations on winning the NWA World title. You beat Jax Dane, is that correct?
That is correct. And Jack's fantastic champion, actually held the title for 420-something days. Just a monster. Tough match. And, I was very happy to come out on top of that one. It was my third shot at the World with Jax, and he, the kind of champion he is, he did not have to give me the rematch, and he did, and it paid off for me.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that seems like it was like a huge title reign that you just imploded on, and that's incredible, actually. But that's awesome because, like you said, that's 400 days, and you were able to just stop him dead in his tracks, and that's actually really awesome.
Well, I know I was asked at one point before the match, could anybody stop Max? And he is Godzilla, and Godzilla is real. There's no doubt about it. Every time the two of us fight, both of us feel like we've been in a train wreck afterwards. It's incredibly physical. We're both big guys. He's incredibly strong, and my answer to that question was, if I can't do it, I'm not sure if anybody can. It was a big accomplishment, great champion, and like you said, now it belongs to me, and that's a huge honor. It's not overwhelming, but it definitely reaches. It's the pinnacle of wrestling for me.
Yeah, I want to say definitely because the NWA World Title, it has a very prestigious history. The likes of people who went on to become great legends in like the WWE held that title, and now that's on you, which is incredible. How does that feel? Like, what does that mean to you? What does the title mean to you?
It's the thing where it's interesting to me because I've always kind of considered myself a wrestling historian. So to be able to own and be a part of history makes it even that much more special. Like you said, it's the title. This title was established in 1948, but the roots of this can be tracked all the way to 1908. And just this since 1948, I'm only the 53rd man to hold that title. And if you read through the list, you talk about from a historical standpoint, somebody that appreciates wrestling history. It literally is a who's who of professional wrestling. I mean, Lou Thesz won it in 1949.
Yeah.
And I don't want if I start naming names, I'll miss them. But Harley Race, Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, Dory Funk Jr. It just goes on and on. AJ Styles, and then the more recent Iron Man Rob Conway, Jax Dane, Adam Pearce. the Great Muda, Giant Baba. I mean, it just, Kerry Von Erich, it goes on and on and on. And every one of those is just, it just makes me swell up with pride just knowing that I'm on that list. It truly is a part of history. And like you said, it's the most prestigious title in the history of the business.
Yeah, definitely, because you think about it and you look at titles that are in the WWE now, and those things, they change so often. But this is one of those titles that doesn't change. This is, like, it's everlasting. It's immortal. People, like you said, it's been around since 1908. That's incredible. Right. So then, did you watch these wrestlers when in your youth? Did you watch these wrestlers get the NWA title? Are these people that you enjoyed watching when you were younger? Like, who did you watch when you were a kid?
Absolutely. I mean, I tell this story. It's one of the reasons one of the things that made me want to wrestle is I grew up. Matter of fact, I posted something today on social media that I'm on the road now, coming back from Tennessee from the title defense last night, and I stopped and took a picture when I crossed the Arkansas border. I'm actually from Arkansas, and my travel partner on this one is a guy named James Beard, who is a legend, referee legend in the business, legitimately. And he researched it, and I posted today that I'm the first world, NWA World Heavyweight from Arkansas, and from Arkansas, that gives me a lot of pride because that's two things that being from Arkansas and holding that title means a lot to me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, then when you were a kid, did you have like favorites? Were like the likes of Harley Race and all these other wrestlers? Were they like your favorites, or did you have a favorite when you were a child?
Well, growing up where I did, I was very fortunate from a wrestling TV perspective. I got Memphis wrestling in the morning, so I got Jerry Lawler, Dundee, all of that great action, and then in the afternoon, I got Georgia Championship Wrestling, which means I got the Four Horsemen, all the great Mr. Wrestling 2, all of those incredible stories that those guys told. And then at night, I got World Class. So I got the Von Erichs at night. So even as a young child, 3 times a day, I was seeing some of the best wrestling in the history of the business and didn't know it because that's all I saw. And then some of those guys, especially the Georgia Championship, a lot of those guys worked Mid-South with Bill Watts. And those guys would come through my hometown, and I would go to the Pine Bluff Convention Center and watch those. And I can remember as a 12-year-old kid, after the show, kind of sticking around and sliding into the ring and standing on the second ropes and raising my hand and of course, yelling, "Get that kid out of the ring." But that's historically, I mean, that's my roots of wrestling. My favorites, I'm always a big Harley Race fan, but Truth of Truths, Dusty Rhodes just electrified me. I had everything, every promo that Dusty Rhodes was known for, I had it memorized by the time I was 10 or 11, 12 years old, and was trying to throw it out there with the Dusty lisp. And it just that those are the people that influenced me and motivated me and wanted me, kind of drove me toward the business.
Absolutely. I'm saying undeniably, Dusty Rhodes is one of the most incredible wrestlers the world has ever seen, possibly, for his age and stuff. And, and even they memorialize him even now, in the Dusty Rhodes Classic and stuff like that.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So then, I have a good question for you here. So you debuted in wrestling at an older age than many do. Do you think this was positive or negative for your career?
I think it's both. That's probably a cheating answer, but here's the positive was coming in. I had already established myself in the business world, and it's just I've always been competitive. I've always looked for some outlet for it, and I decided I wanted to try something new, and still had in my heart had a passion for this, and decided I would try it. So the positive of that was where a lot of guys are coming toward, have tried it and not made it, and the bodies are breaking down. Other than college football and the other things that I played, I'd never been in the ring, so I think that helped my longevity physically. Yeah. Now the negative of that is truthfully, that was the time when it was the territories were hot. And I don't have any regrets in life. I've been very blessed. I mean, a great life. I'm happy with everything. But I always look back and think, okay, what if right out of college, instead of, and I'm not saying not get married and all that kind of stuff, but what if I had gone and started training immediately out of college, have college football, big physical kid, fairly athletic. What if could I have caught a break in the territories? Because, as you know, the territories fed every big organization that blossomed, and all the great stars came from those territories. Now, I'm not saying I would have, but I look back and think, man, I that's my style. That's what I do now. Is I work the same. That's what I'm born to do, is work physical and hard, and tough and beat guys around. That's what I do. So I wonder how I would have done in that. So, to answer your question, it was both a positive and a negative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say nowadays you see, for instance, here in Indiana, we have a lot of young talent. For instance, there are people who start when they're 15, 16, 17 years old, and, like you said, that does lead to them eventually, getting to the point where their bodies are breaking down and stuff like that, because it's a lot of abuse on the body, really. I mean, you see, they're high flyers and stuff, and, the old, technical style of wrestling, the stronger, more stiff wrestling and stuff like that. That's stuff of the past, but you don't see that a lot nowadays, which is, I think, is incredible about your wrestling, because you bring that life back from then, because you don't see it anymore.
Right. Well, I saw, I'm not sure where it was, but I saw a meme somewhere about Johnny Valentine, and it said, you may not believe wrestling is real, but you're going to believe that I'm real. Yeah. And that's the way I approach it, because I am real. I mean, it's what you see is kind of what you get, and a lot of the guys that I'm in the ring with joke about it. Matter of fact, it was kind of a running thing between Jack Stane and Ray Rowe. I don't know if you're familiar with Ray, but incredible Ring of Honor talent.
Yeah, definitely.
And those guys would just joke with me relentlessly that you don't wrestle Tim Storm, you just survive Tim Storm. You just hope to come out of that healthy. But it's that's there's a little truth to that. I just it's what I do. I'm just a physical person, and I've always been that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I also just want to comment what you said. You say when people say wrestling isn't real, but I've never wrestled personally, but I've seen people in the ring, and I definitely know, even though it, someone might say that it is real, because you see the punishment. And I know a lot of wrestlers would say, oh, they say it's not real. How about you step in the ring? Yeah.
Well, it's this is my answer to that. It's two things. One is you fake gravity.
Exactly.
It hurts. Gravity, it hurts every time. And it's not just me. It's anybody who's in this business and takes it seriously and is passionate about it and works hard at it. Watch me get out of the car. I came off a match Friday night against War Machine, and last night defended the NWA World's Heavyweight title. And, today I look like, I don't know, it's pretty ugly. It's pretty ugly watching me get out of the car and walk. And, now don't get me wrong. I'll be back in the gym this afternoon by 5 o'clock and work out some of the soreness and start the week off, and then I'll be back at it later in the week. That's the business. That's what we do.
Yeah, definitely. It's like that. You have to keep her pushing and persevering, because if you don't, you're never gonna heal. That's what people tell me, is that if you don't keep pushing through it, you're never gonna feel better.
Right. Well, and this is a physical business. Something is always going to hurt.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. So if you're waiting to be 100% healthy before you go back in the gym, then you're never going to go back in the gym. And if you don't do the things that you didn't do preparation-wise, then you're not going to be successful. I mean, I'll tell you that when I stepped in the wrestling ring for the first time, I realized this is after college football, and I played, and a lot of people will laugh at it, but I played at the highest level possible of softball guy. I mean, did well at that. I played a lot of things. I mean, I competed in state tournaments in racquetball and volleyball. I mean, I did a lot of things. And I stepped in the ring for the first time and went, this is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done. And it has been.
Yeah, absolutely. But, and that's one of the things a lot of people say is that it is very difficult, but in a lot of ways it's very rewarding. As you can tell, I mean, you've reached a pinnacle of wrestling. You have the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and that's incredible, And is that worth it to you? Do you think all that pain and all the suffering, you think it's worth to where you've reached at this point?
Oh, absolutely. I joke at home and say, I'm going to be a miserable old man. I am. Because my body's going to, at some point, my body is going to break down, and it's a challenge now. I mean, I can still, thankfully, I can still compete, obviously, because of what I've now achieved, but I can still compete at a very high level. I can still do anything that I've ever done after 20 years of being in the ring. The challenge comes on the recovery, where I could do that, 15 years ago, I could wrestle 3, 4, 5 times in a week and be ready to go. I've got to be smart. I don't know if you're familiar with, I do cryotherapy twice a week. I've got a massage guy. I've got all sorts of little things that I have to do to prepare myself so that I take my title defenses very, very, very seriously. And if you don't prepare, if you don't do what you need to do, and this is just being honest, and throughout anywhere in the wrestling business, you're just another guy. And I've never been satisfied being just another guy.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you. I mean, and that's the thing too, is that a lot of wrestlers they let us slide, they let us slip, and it seems like you don't let us slip. You keep that edge constantly. And that's incredible because a lot of people can't do that. But even though some people might put you down for being an older wrestler, you still have that edge, you still have that competitiveness that a lot of the young guys don't even have.
Well, that's what makes winners. And it doesn't matter, age doesn't matter anymore. I mean, in today's fitness, nutrition, technology, and work ethic, I am in shape. I'm in better shape than 90% of the guys in the business, and 98% of the guys that I'm going to get in the ring with. That's the truth. I mean, I'm not. I have pains. I have things that are always going to hurt me because I've been doing this for a long time. But I haven't slowed down. As a matter of fact, I think I continue to get better because I get smarter.
No, absolutely. I say it definitely doesn't seem like you slowed down your career. If anything, it looks like you're just stomping on the gas pedal. And I don't expect you to stop. So that being said, what are your goals for this upcoming year? You're not going to stop. So what's next for you? Well,
I don't. This is one of those things that when you reach the pinnacle, you have two choices, right? You can be satisfied and start climbing back down, or you can work hard and hold on with everything you got. And that I know that as far as a wrestling career, my path, the road that I've taken is longer in the rear because of the windshield. I know that, but yeah. I'm not wrestling another 20 years, obviously, but I have always said, my goals are, I never want to be the guy that accepts things the way they are, gets complacent, and stops working hard. So my goal this year, number one, is to hang on to this title, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reach a couple of goals. I plan on, right now I've already scheduled 2 or 3 trips to Japan to defend the title. I'm looking at Australia, and those have been goals for me. I've been to a lot of countries, but in my mind, Japan is a big thing for me. So I'm really excited to be going over there and defending the World Championship, and as excited as they are, just feeds me. I mean, it motivates me. They're excited that the NWA World Heavyweight Champion is coming to Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, and that just speaks volumes about how prestigious that title is, because you've made a name for yourself and you've worked and you strived and you've painstakingly worked for that title, and people thousands and thousands of miles away are like, we want him here, we want him to wrestle.
Yeah, it's an honor and it's a privilege. I've worked hard for it. I'm just gonna, and now it's my turn to make a mark on that title. It's when we started talking about the list of those guys that are historical figures that made their mark on this title, and I have to make my mark now. I will never be 9-time champion like Ric Flair. I probably will not hold the title over 2,000 days, not consecutively, like Lupez. But every one of those legends made a mark for themselves on this title, and now it's my turn, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do it by continuing the path that I've taken, and I'm going to do it by going to Japan and hopefully bringing back the pictures, the thought, the images, the concept of guys like Dr. Death Steve Williams and Stan Hansen and Terry Gordy, and even currently. Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt, this American Psycho. I mean, that's what I do, and we'll just see if Japan's ready for that.
Well, let's hope they are, because you're coming in full blast, full bore. Well, Tim, I think we're going to have to start wrapping up this interview, but first of all, where can fans follow you? Where can people find you on social media so they can keep up with your awesomeness?
I'm putting my awesomeness. I like that. That was good. That made me smile. That's very cool. On Facebook, it's Tim Storm. On Twitter, it's TimStorm01. You can follow me on the best where I do most of my work is going to be. I have a Facebook fan page that is the best place to see where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, match results. Last night was a TV taping, and those will be on there as soon as those are up and available. So that's the best place. But I encourage fans everywhere. First off, support professional wrestling, support good professional wrestling, and for me personally, if you're in an area where you can go out and see the National Wrestling Alliance affiliates, support that, because this is we want to bring wrestling back to what it was. That's what we're working to do. And Bruce Tharp, our president, James Beard, operations. That's what we are trying to do.
Absolutely, and that's incredible because, like you said, you guys are going to bring it back, and I totally believe that. Well, thank you so much, Tim. It's been an honor. I wish you luck in whatever ventures that you venture into next, and I promise that I will be keeping an eye on this, and hopefully we can bring you back on, after you've been to Japan some later down the road, because that would be awesome to hear from you again.
Absolutely, man. Just let me know. It's a pleasure to talk with you. It's an honor and a privilege to represent the NWA.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tim. It's been an honor.
Thank you.
Check out Geek Stew for all your geek and wrestling news and podcasts. Visit geek-stew.com.
Hi everyone, this is Crazy Fangirl, and I am so excited to be part of the Dave Dynasty Show podcast. I mean, I don't know, why do they call it a show? Because is it really a show? Because when you show somebody something, you're looking at it, and you can't really look at a podcast. But whatevs. This is the Dave Dynasty Show podcast, and I am super duper excited. I love wrestling. I have loved it since I was a little girl. I was kind of the son that my daddy never had, and so we watched wrestling all the time, usually on Saturday mornings, and it was lots of fun, and I went to the shows at the fairgrounds and things like that. And then I'm a huge WWE fan. I am a huge Ring of Honor fan, and I love Lucha Libre. I love my independent shows. Any chance I get to go to a wrestling show, I'm going to go. So, as much as I hate to kind of be like a little bit of a bummer on my very first show, there's just something that's been heavy on my mind. So, we just went through an election, and oh my gosh, it was like so much drama. It was more drama than like my general hospital. But anyway, I was like so pumped because I'm looking at the results, and, we've had all this, like, Russian hacking and everything, and, Crazy Fangirl likes to really dig deep. So I dug deep, and I found something out. 49.7%, according to, like, the experts, supposedly did not even vote. But do you know what I think happened? Is I think those were write-in votes. And Russia hacked in and deleted those votes because the new president of the United States should be John Cena. I mean, everyone loves John Cena. And if 49.7% of the population voted for him, he should be president. And I don't think this is like any little like just coincidental thing where they just were like, oh, I'm going to do this. There is a madman behind this. And it's no Vladimir Putin or whatever his name is. It is Rusev. Everybody knows that Rusev can't get over the fact that John Cena is so much better than him. John Cena is he is everything. He is everything that Rusev wants to be. And Rusev has his little Lana, but she's no Nikki Bella. I mean, come on. Just don't even try. And Rusev, totally got people to hack in and delete the votes because there's no way 49.7% of the population just didn't vote. No, they voted. They voted. And John Cena was totally screwed out of being president of the United States. So anyway, I don't know. It's not like I can prove it. I mean, I found a couple websites and I found some people who, it's really kind of a quiet, dark, thing that people are talking about because everyone knows that, people disappear for uncovering stuff like this. So anyway, I don't want to disappear, and, I just think that we all know every time we see Donald Trump, we're going to know that should be John Cena. So until next time, this is Crazy Fangirl, and she says that John Cena for president.
Gather around for life lessons from professional wrestling's own Mance Warner. It's Warner Wisdom.
All right, people, we're back at it. This is your favorite wrestler of all time, Mance Warner right here. It's 4:36 in the morning. I'm doing this in a parking lot at a gas station, man, because that's what I do, baby. I make towns. I pay my light bill. I pay my internet bill, whatever bill I got to pay, man. That's what I do out here. I beat people up, and I drink light beer. So here I am this week with another edition of Warner's Wisdom for you. Oh, Lord. I'm too out here drinking a beer. If I get arrested, it won't be the first time. It probably won't be the last time either. Nah. This week, I'm going to talk about wrestling fans. I'm going to talk about the wrestling fans, man. All right. Now, you're a good guy. You're an idiot. You come out there clapping your hands, asking these dumb fools, these toothless morons in the crowd to cheer for you. And I don't know why you want to touch their hands. God knows where their hands been. But anywho, you're a good guy. You come out there rooting for the fans. Come out there stepping in the ring with me. Now I get to what I think about the fans in a second. I touched on a little bit, but I'll get to it in a second. You're a good guy. You go out there doing your thing. Rooting, hollering, slapping hands. That's cool. That's your thing. That's what you want to do. That's on you, man. I personally think you're a fool. My take on it is, I go rolling out there. I don't care about them. I don't need them. I hate all of them. So my goal is to get them so riled up, so angry, that they wait out in that parking lot and try to fight me. For example, tonight, I go out there. There's a little kid with a cast on his leg. I kicked his cast, man. I had to see if it were real. So I took a kick out his cast, made my way around the ring, got in a couple more faces, got in one cat's face. He stood up. I looked at him. I said, "Go ahead, big man. Take a swing, make my day so I can beat the bejesus out of you right here." He proceeded to show a firearm. So then I proceeded to smile at him, get in his face more, and let him know that I, too, would be carrying a firearm if I did not have felonies all over the United States of America. That's the difference, people. Good guys and bad guys. The good guys are out there for some reason wanting these dumb fools, these hilljacks, to root for them. I hate the fans. I hate every single one of the fans. I hate all you fans. If I could, I'd show up even earlier to the shows and have y'all line up and I'd fight you one by one. I can't do that because, well, I gotta make towns, baby. I can't spend all week in a jail cell. Nah. On to a little history lesson here for all you people here listening to Warner's Wisdom, listening to me, Big Doggy himself, King of Big Dog style, Laird's Light Beer. Oh, Lord, my neck hurts, people. Back in Puerto Rico, me, Jamie Dundee, and Jimmy Powers, once we're in a six-man tag team matchup. We had to fight our way through the crowd. I was picking up batteries, chucking them left and right. I was eye gouging fans, kicking ankles, kicking kneecaps. Over there, I can do whatever I want, man. I don't think I'm ever going to go back over there again after gouging eyes and chucking them batteries, though. My point to all this is, besides trailing off and telling you all these great stories of Puerto Rico, y'all want that, you tell old Dave Dynasty and his stupid, horrible right-hand man to throw me on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, give me about 15, 16 beers, and my fanny pack filled with goodies. I give you a show. Nah, where was I at? I was trailing off already. The point of all this is, my wisdom to y'all, if you get a chance and you can, and you ain't gonna catch no charges over it, take a swing on one of these fans, man. Just punch them right in their ugly face. I hate all of them. I probably hate most of you people listening to this podcast. But the beauty of it is, I get paid money to come to your town, remind you how bad you are, remind you how your life sucks, remind you how I'm better than you, remind you how you ain't ever gonna get out of that town. And then a good guy comes out, clapping his hands, telling y'all that he loves you. And then guess what, people? I get to beat the holy hell out of your good guy, out of your hero, out of your one chance of making it. And then I remind y'all once again, I cut you down to size and let you know, man, there is not always a happy end to every story. I hit a big lariat. I hit a big headbutt. I throw him in a dragon sleeper. And now I get my money. I get my light beer. And I'll run off to the next town to ruin your memories, ruin your dreams, and make your little kids cry. This is what I do, people. I love it. I know it. I know it. I know it. I'm good at what I do. Now, until next time, Warner's Wisdom, you come on by to Dave Dynasty show and you strap yourself in. You too can open a light beer and listen to the smartest man in pro wrestling today, Mance Warner, the king of big dog style, the master of the lariat and light beers. Okay, people, until next time, I hope your day is shitty and mine is always good.
And welcome back to the Dave Dynasty Show with a little buzzer in the background to let you know how awesome we are. All right, Dave.
I think that's the buzzer to say, shut up, Ike.
Well, I'm going to keep talking.
Right.
And keep talking, and keep talking, and keep talking, and keep talking. All right, you ready for some listener questions?
Yes, especially if it means you will stop talking. Yes.
I will never stop talking, but
I believe that.
numero uno, what needs to be the next move for women's wrestling to continue to progress?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously women's wrestling has come a long, long way.
Yes.
In the last few years. I think what they need to continue to do is just signing the best talent out there and putting them on display, giving them a chance. Just same thing they do with the men. There's a lot of talented wrestlers out there in the independents in Mexico and Japan. They just need to continue to sign them, continue to give them opportunities, continue to give them the chance to showcase, to show what they can do. And it'll all work out, and everything will be fine. People will realize how good it is, how talented they are, and it'll all be good. I think the talk of doing the big tournament like the Cruiserweight Classic for women's wrestling next year is a good idea. It's a good step.
I agree.
It gives people a chance to see a lot of talented individuals that maybe they're not aware of. So, I think just that. Just continue on what they're doing, signing talent. Giving them opportunities. I think as fans need to continue to go out and support, and support the ones at their local shows and all female shows that are going on, and support them and show that give them love. Give them support, and then everything will just continue to grow. It'll continue to be beautiful, man. It'll be great.
Yep. Nurture it and it will grow.
Yep. So
next question.
Yep.
You ready? All right, opinions on the rumors of WWE and Hulk Hogan talking.
It's not a surprise.
God awful. Please, for the love of God, don't do it.
I don't think it'll be it's not a wrestling thing. They want him to be at WrestleMania. It'll be an appearance thing like they always do, something backstage with Austin and Rock or one of those type things. It's all right. Hogan is what he is. He's a legend. He helped make WWE what they are now. You can argue right place at the right time kind of thing another time.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was going to say.
Whatever, but they're not going to bring him in and have him wrestle. They're not going to bring him in and put him in some big program. They're not going to bring him in and put the belt on him. It'll be something backstage or something, just come out and wave to the fans. So it's not a surprise. I think everybody knew it was going to probably happen. I think there's a lot of potential for a humorous bit of some sort with him and Kevin Owens, because I think that'd be funny. I think Owens could pull some gems out, doing a little interaction with Hogan. So
I think so. Like I hope, because here's my thing: I don't like Hulk Hogan. I don't. I didn't like him to begin with.
I don't either. I never liked Hogan. He's not my style of wrestler, but.
Can you even call him a wrestler? Like 3 moves is not a wrestler.
But see, the thing, if you watch Hogan in Japan, he can do more.
Yeah,
he did more over there. He threw drop kicks and did all kinds of crap over there.
I'll have to watch that then.
But anyway, he still was never my kind of wrestler. It's just the way it is. I never did lean towards the big guys, the big bodybuilding. But like I've always said, there are people that do. That's okay. I'll still give him props. He's obviously a huge international star. People over the world know who he is. So
true.
So again, I don't think it's a surprise that they're talking. I don't think it was ever a surprise that he would be at WrestleMania more than likely. But I think that'll be it. It'll just be an appearance at WrestleMania. And so be it. So
Good Lord, I hope so.
yeah, next question. Go ahead.
All right, next question.
That's as much as we're talking about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I said no more Hulk Hogan. Thoughts on potential Shield reunion?
Well, again, everybody's always talking about it. And I don't think it's going to be a surprise that at some point something's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you look at every faction over the years, at some point there's a little reunion, whether it's just a momentary thing or whatever. I don't ever think they're going to get together as a permanent type thing.
Yeah.
But there will be times when, yes, they'll come together. They have a little bit here and there anyway, but especially since, well, more or less they're all faces right now. I don't know what you call Roman because
I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy.
He's just treading water, and like they still want him to be a face, but nobody accept. I don't understand. But anyway, yeah, it's going to happen at some point. There'll be something, and it'll be okay. It'll be a cool moment to remember. It'll probably be the only time Roman will get cheered.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they fight. I don't know why they don't just turn him full blown heel.
That's what I was gonna say. Just turn him into a heel, and make him just like this really like cruel, mean person. It's like, I mean, I might like him then.
Why they don't take a lesson from when they brought in The Rock, and he was Rocky Maivia, and he was smiling big, and he was waving at the crowd, and people thought he was a joke and laughed at him. So they turned him heel, and look what he became. He became one of the biggest stars of all time. It ended up being one of the most popular because, and I think the same will hold true with Roman. If they just turn him heel, eventually that turn back's going to be hot.
Exactly.
But right now, people don't like him, so I don't understand why they fight. I don't know I don't know. The rumor is, he's going to be the next feud for Kevin Owens.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I heard that, and then I heard that something about Goldberg and Roman Reigns at some point for something.
Well, I've heard that maybe at WrestleMania if they can get Goldberg to do another.
See,
I think we need to see how Survivor Series goes first.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Let's see how he does against Brock Lesnar in Survivor Series.
But the fact of the matter is, if Roman and Kevin Owens are the next program together, that's not going to help. They're going to boo Reigns and cheer Owens.
Oh yeah, then Owens will get cheered.
And if they're okay with that, then they're okay with that. But I don't know.
You know what they need to do? Turn him heel. And when they turn him heel, they need to like get him some like just major heel heat. He needs to like beat the ever living crap out of every single person.
But who are they going to do it with? How are they going to turn? What face is overbearing on Raw that they can turn him to get heat?
John Cena. I say John Cena just because
Maybe.
everyone thinks he's everything. He's a good two shoes or whatever, you know. Or maybe get a Shield reunion going and then have him just beat the ever living tar out of both the other two members. I could see that working.
Maybe. I don't know.
But again, that would include a lot of planning, but they're all like on different shows, aren't they? Like Rollins and Reigns are on Raw, and Ambrose is on SmackDown, correct?
I think they need to turn him heel and put him with Paul Heyman.
Oh,
I think he needs to be a Paul Heyman guy because that way he doesn't have to talk.
Dude, Paul Heyman makes anybody look good.
Because Roman needs somebody to talk for him. He could totally do that brooding beast thing like Lesnar does. And, I don't know. Maybe.
And people cheer Brock Lesnar, so I mean, you just get him a heel heat, get him going with that Paul
And perhaps
Heyman.
they could. Perhaps that's how they'll build for a Roman Goldberg thing. Coming out of Goldberg Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Maybe there's always been talk that Heyman will have another guy or two because they want him out more because Lesnar's hardly there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lesnar's never there.
I don't know.
A lot of possibilities.
It's like in the old days back when they had managers that would speak for the guys that couldn't speak, and we don't have them anymore, except for Heyman.
Yeah, so
there's lots of guys that can't talk. Why don't they have?
I mean, like that's the thing too is that like now the people that just can't talk, they just like force them to talk, and then it just looks awful.
Yeah, especially when they're scripting for them.
Yeah, exactly.
All they're doing is reciting a script, and there's no development of personality. And I think if they turn Roman heel, they don't script for him, let it more of his personality, because he actually does well with that smirky kind of thing, because he does it sometimes when the crowd boos him.
Yeah,
and he's good at it. And whatever, I don't know.
It's like we need to write for the WWE. We need to be like they're like creators.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so WWE.
We're sitting here literally trying to make logic of the WWE, though. That's an impossible task.
That's true.
Some of the stuff they do just makes no sense.
Very true. Very true.
I don't. Oh, I know how Lesnar can get over, or I know how Reigns can get heel heat. He can attack and go up against the most over superstar on the WWE on the Monday Night Raw roster, the List of Jericho.
Oh my God, yes.
That's the most over thing on Raw right now is the list. A list.
Dude, Chris Jericho's a genius.
And did you hear that Jericho said who came up with the idea for the List of Jericho?
Who?
Jimmy Jacobs, formerly of Ring of Honor, etc., who writes for WWE and whatever else. You hadn't heard much about him.
Yeah.
But Jericho said, I wish it was my idea, but no, it was Jacobs. He's like, let's do this list, where you put a names on it, whatever else, and it really got over, so they're like, well, let's just keep doing it.
It's awesome,
great.
too.
It's the most over thing in the world. Let's just put the belt on it.
Dude, I love Chris Jericho, man. He's like the best.
Yeah, he's not going to be around much longer, though. He's getting ready to, he's got to take one of his breaks he's going to tour with Fozzy or whatever. And
Oh, okay.
it's going to suck.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to miss Raw without Jericho. That's probably the only reason I watch Raw. Chris Jericho, pretty much.
Funny. Yeah.
All right.
But they're getting ready. I guess they're getting ready to do a thing with him and Rollins, though.
I like that.
Which is
I really
cool.
like
It means
Seth
they're kind of
Rollins.
stepping Rollins back a little bit then because he's not. It won't be main event picture, but it's not that far a step back. But I want to see him and Jericho working together will be great.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think they pushed Rollins really, really, really hard, and then when he hurt his leg and stuff, I feel like they couldn't keep pushing him, so they had to kind of rebound him a little bit, have him go real high for a minute, but then bring him back just a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, right now Kevin Owens is the man.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is just
He's where he should be. Everything's working, and they just got to have guys to work against him. And Rollins has had his little thing with him, and they're going to need to back him off and bring on the next guy, which apparently might be Reigns. I don't know if I like that, but I'm not sure who else it could be.
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph's the Intercontinental Champion.
Oh,
On the other brand.
I love Dolph Ziggler.
He's on SmackDown.
I love Dolph Ziggler.
So, but I see, I did. When speaking of SmackDown, you know how they were talking about they're going to do the 205 Live Cruiserweight show, right?
Yeah.
And they said they were going to tape it after SmackDown. And I kept wondering, well, how are they going to do that? Because all the cruiserweights are on Raw. Now they've given their loophole, which is just totally going to give away one of their matches for Survivor Series. Because Survivor Series, it's Brian Kendrick against Kalisto, who's on SmackDown. If Kalisto wins the cruiserweight title, the cruiserweight division moves to SmackDown.
Oh.
So I think they've already just spoiled that match because
Kalisto is the next cruiserweight champion.
It makes sense because then they'll move because they had to have the cruiserweights over there because they're not going to. That's when they're going to tape it after the SmackDown show. So
they're not real subtle at all.
Unless it's all a swerve and they're actually going to tape the 205 Live after Raw, they were just
right.
But like they're going to go to that much effort.
No, they don't really care that much.
But they're not. They are, but they're not taping it till after Survivor Series. It doesn't start till after Survivor Series so it could be a swerve.
It could be. I doubt it though because WWE isn't
I doubt
that
they have
smart.
that much forward thinking.
Yeah.
But
they just kind of go with the flow at the moment.
I'm okay with Kalisto winning the cruiserweight title. I like Brian Kendrick, but I like Kalisto. You know how I like my luchadors.
I think he deserves it too because I think he kind of got shat on when it was just when he was a tag team.
Yeah, but he held the U.S. title for twice.
Yeah, but they kept putting him against
Rusev. Like a jobber.
Yeah, they kept putting him against Rusev and stuff, and that's just
he'll
dumb
better
match.
serve them in the cruiserweight division.
Definitely,
he'll fit in. It'll be great. Him and Grand Metalik. Oh yeah.
Grand Metalik.
Put him in the ring. Let him go for it.
All right.
Is that the last question?
That was the last question.
We have we spoke about Hogan. We spoke about Reigns. We even briefly spoke on TNA. And even though I vowed that I would not speak about Goldberg and Lesnar to myself, we did. We did. We brought it up.
It all comes back around.
Why do we have like 3 or 4 topics that we always bring up? It's 2. Yeah. It's always TNA and there's always Lesnar Goldberg.
Yeah, exactly.
It's coming up in every show.
We didn't talk about Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio.
And Paige.
There's no real news. Paige was she made an appearance at okay, here we go. She made an appearance at an independent show that Del Rio worked. I think for Jersey All Pro or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, she didn't do anything because she can't. Well, number 1, she can't contractually, but number 2, she had that neck thing. But she did come out and watch, and they did announce her that she was there. So
that's weird. The whole thing with her and Alberto Del Rio is just so strange. It bothers me.
The whole scenario is weird. I feel like there's more to the story.
I definitely think there is.
Because she's a contracted WWE wrestler, but man, she's out there at a lot of other places. And I know they can go to these other shows. That's okay.
Yeah.
They just can't make television appearances or pay-per-view appearances or anything like that, do anything like that. They can go as a fan and watch. But it's just so... What's going to happen when she's healed? Is she going to come back?
Probably not.
How is she going to do that?
I imagine they'll probably just drop her from the roster as soon as her contract expires.
Yeah, but that's supposed to be a couple years.
Really?
So she's just going to sit it out? She's going to quit, say she's retired, and just write out the rest of the contract? And if she does, what happens if her and Del Rio split?
Well,
What's she going to do then?
She's boned then, dude.
She's going to come back and say, I'm sorry.
Lo siento.
I don't think she'll say it like that.
No.
Not if her and Del Rio split.
That's true.
I don't know.
It's a strange situation because, like you said, she just pops up out of nowhere doing these weird things. And
it just seems, I mean, if it's legit and they're legit in love and all that, okay, fine. But it just seems odd. I don't know. It just seems like there's more to this. I don't know what.
And whatever came of Alberto Del Rio being stabbed.
I don't know. Supposedly he did. I don't think anything ever happened. I don't know.
Yeah, so he's just fine. He's cool, man. He's good.
Yeah, he's all right. He didn't like stab. It was just like some cuts. It wasn't really stabbed.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay.
Apparently he's not going to work for AAA anymore because showed that show. And
Even though he got attacked.
I guess I haven't heard any more about him.
Man, they're hardcore down there. We
must just be-
don't give a shit if you got stabbed. Come on.
Well, for some guys they are. I think that it was a big show for him, and him not being there hurt them. They felt, and they're not very forgiving when they hold grudges.
Yeah, so it doesn't seem like it.
I don't know.
Hope for the best, though.
So I don't know. So there you go. There's your little dose of Del Rio.
Dose of Del Rio.
Now we've touched on all the topics.
I think we need to do that weekly. A dose of Del Rio.
Is that going to be a new segment?
New segment.
A
Dose of Del Rio.
We're looking to add segments with the fangirl thing that we added, and who knows what else we'll do.
Man, we got a crazy fangirl, a crazy Mance Warner, and then always a crazy interview of some sort.
And then the king of fecal matter, Ike Isaacs.
The king of fecal matter, Ike Isaacs. That's me.
I wouldn't believe it. You're so agreeing to that nickname.
You know, sometimes
you know what fecal matter is, right?
I am very well what fecal matter is.
Well aware. Wait a minute. You're well aware. Like you're proud of that. What?
I'm just. I mean, I don't care, man. You do you, man. You do you.
Have you ever seen that Crank Yankers where somebody calls in something about BMs and the lady is pregnant? Is like, man, we don't take BMs lightly around here. That's okay. Crank Yankers, that's going way back.
How did we pull Crank Yankers into this?
I don't know how does Crank. I don't know. I love Crank Yankers.
Yeah, so that's like an old show too.
Have you ever seen there's the one where Eminem calls? It does a prank call. It as Eminem and to price a tattoo for his daughter who was like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old. It was so funny.
I need a tattoo for my daughter Haley.
Good stuff.
Is there a comment on there? Haley's comment.
Man.
Dun, 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 dun.
See, you had to pull out a bad joke.
A pun.
We are rambling about nothing now. We're talking about
Eminem's daughter,
and his daughter, which has nothing to do with it.
And then
today.
Haley's comment, which is a celestial being.
Oh, so let's start to wrap this up. Hey, special thanks to Tim Storm for joining us today in his interview. Very cool.
Dude.
Yeah, very cool. NWA World Champion on the show. Very awesome. We could have a very big guest next. I hate to jinx it because we've not actually recorded the interview yet, but it is confirmed. Maybe we should put it out there. Should we put it out there?
Go for it. YOLO, as the kids say.
Hopefully this doesn't burn us. But on next week's episode, we have an interview with Lucha Underground star Marty the Moth.
Marty the Moth.
How cool is that? That is awesome. So
I think that's pretty cool.
So just join us for that. Like I said, we have not recorded the interview yet, but it is set up on the books, ready to go. Hopefully nothing happens now that I've put it out there.
Yeah, right. Well, you've had some bad luck this week with interviews, too, haven't
Yes,
you?
I know. Everybody having to change their schedule. And not a bad replacement with Tim Storm, though.
Yeah.
Pulling one out. So we did have a lot of guys want to do the interview.
Yeah,
A lot of guys messaging me, though. Some of them, I don't even know what they are. It's like, hey, I'll do the podcast. Like, yeah, what do you got to do? What do you do? I don't know. I don't do anything, man. Well, why would I interview you?
Be like, I'm not just interviewing fans. Like,
I know. I'm like, no offense, and I don't mind. I appreciate the attention of the offer, but
Come on,
if
man.
you don't have wrestling related stories or something to do with the business, well, you don't really fit on the podcast.
It's like if you brought somebody on here to talk about cooking.
It's not a cooking podcast.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Maybe cooking meth, but I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wow.
You have to realize that
Way to go, Hill Job.
Cooking meth.
Yeah, were you trying to imply that our listeners cook
the
meth?
Heisenberg. I mean, okay, let's be honest. There is a statistical anomaly that says that at least 1 out of 4 of our podcast listeners have to abuse some sort of drugs. That is a statistical, fact. I'm pretty sure.
Well, there clearly, I'm sure there are listeners that, more than likely are.
So I mean, it's not too far out of the imagination.
To each their own, man. To each their own. Again, I'm not that kind of podcast. I don't care.
We're not that kind of podcast.
Unless
guys.
it's being worked as an angle in the ring, I don't care what you do, man.
Man,
More power to you.
Man, Kevin Owens started doing crystal meth, man.
Kevin Owens bumped down to the cruiserweight division because he lost so much weight.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we are really out of control now.
All right, on that note,
We're going to wrap it up. Special thanks to Tim Storm again for joining us. Check us out online at all of our social medias. You can hit all that stuff up at www.davedynasty.com. Find all the links there, all the links, all the shows, and all the formats. And again, next week, an interview with Marty the Moth. More from Mance Warner.
Yep.
More from the Crazy Fangirl. And who knows what else. We talked about crystal meth and M&M today. Who knows what we'll talk about next week. I do know one thing. By the time next week is released, I will be on a cruise ship.
Yes, I'll be on that cruise ship with you.
That's right.
To annoy the shit out of you.
You might be on the cruise ship, or you might be swan-toning off the side. I tossed you. But
before we close out, do we have any sponsors this week?
Oh, I didn't mention the sponsors, did I?
You didn't mention sponsors, man. Come on.
LuchaMaskUSA.com. That is always our sponsor. Everybody should know that. Everybody should have that bookmarked as their homepage. And everybody by now should have...
Even if the bad guy had to remind you.
Everybody by now should have ordered hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of stuff from me for Christmas.
I already have. Not for you, but for myself.
Christmas is coming. What the heck?
Why would I get you anything for Christmas?
Seriously, you're going to get tossed over the boat.
All right, if anybody's listening to this and I do not show up on the next couple podcasts, you know what happened.
They don't care. They'll be waiting at port for me when I get back in Miami to cheer.
Woo!
That's right, we're going to Miami. Where we'll see Razor Ramon.
Or the Nature Boy.
Say hello to the bad guy. The Nature Boy?
Isn't Ric Flair down from that area?
He's from Charlotte.
Hey, that's near.
Charlotte and Miami are not near.
Hey, North Carolina is closer to Florida than Indiana is.
That's your reasoning?
Shut up. Yes, that's my reasoning.
So, statistically speaking, the one person that is doing drugs around here is you.
Apparently. I didn't even know I was doing it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah, thanks to LuchaMaskUSA.com for their sponsorship. Check them out. They got some stuff coming on the way that we're going to be giving away on the show, on social media.
We might have lost our sponsor now. They're like, we don't want to support this podcast anymore.
Yeah, we're going to go. We're done. That's it. Thanks for listening. I'm Dave Dynasty.
And I'm Ike Isaacs.
Yeah, see ya.